you doing, guys? This is Josh from Kingdom DTF. Welcome one more time to the channel. And if this is your first time stopping by, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, because here we got knowledge about DTF printing, direct to film printing. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about the L1800 and things you should know about it, and why is the way we take apart the printers to double check certain components before we ship out to our customers. And also the same thing that I'm going to show you in this video is going to be parts that in some point you will need to replace for your printer. Okay, remember these printers are machines that you need to do maintenance, and in time you will need to require to replace any part. So it can be from the printhead, it can be from the cables, the bell, the encoder strip, the gear, maybe the sensor that read over there, the sear motor, ink lines, ink tank, all of that stuff. In some point you're going to be needed to replace them, but like I mentioned before, today I'm going to just focus on certain areas. That is what we take a look and we make sure that everything is okay before we send out any printers to our customers. And also it's going to give you a better idea where is located those parts, so in certain time that you need to remove your cover from the L1800, you don't be so lost, and at least you know certain parts that you're going to where to look at it really quick. So we're going to start with this one over here with the cable that connect to the controller board. So basically it's going to be connected right here. Sometimes these cables are, if something happens, they can get damaged, or if let's say that you got on your area a lining or something like that, it can damage that part. So electricity can travel through current and any cable. So take a look at these. Sometimes this cable over here can get burned sometimes. Okay, the same goes to the cable of the printhead that is located right here. Sometimes that cable get burned, and if that happens, it's time for you to replace that, because then if not, the print is going to be telling you that there's a problem, and you're not going to get to guess what is it. But it's a good idea to download a software called WIC. Software is a WIC. You can search online. That software is going to help you to run a report about your printer. It can be any printer. It can be the L1800, the P400, 600, and it is going to allow you to run a report for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, for free. And it's going to tell you what is wrong with the printer. Okay, so that way you have a better understanding and better idea about that. Okay, but just saying that, let's move on to the areas that I want you to take a look at the printer, so you know where it's located, and also the areas that we check before we send out the printer to any customers that ask us to convert a printer to DTF. Okay, so desktop printers, people are using it to convert to do DTF printing. The same method people use desktop printer to convert and use as a sublimation printer, and also DTG printers. Okay, so the conversions are basically using the correct supplies, in this case the correct inks for each printing method. Okay, There's a few ways how to convert a printer like the L1800 to do DTF. In our case, what I like to do is just open completely the printer. Okay, there's going to be people that they're going to disagree with me, that they're going to say that it's not necessary to open it, and it's okay. I mean, if you want to convert the printer without opening, there's a way to do it, but the reason we open it is because we want to check that everything is good for you. When people buy printers from us, or maybe if you're buying from another person and you are converting them, and then maybe you found on the future like an error or something like that, because these printers, it could have some type of error sometimes. So we're going to discuss that in this video about type of errors that you can find on this printer, and maybe later, when you disassemble all the printer, you can have access to certain points and you know what you're doing. Knowing this knowledge, I just want to point out that when you do any conversion, this type of printers going to lose any type of warranty. So for that reason, I know people that have been asking me about warranty or something like that. For that reason, we cannot do a warranty on the printer because it's going to be loose. The company is not going to cover that. I'm talking about the maker in this case. It's not going to cover that part. So that's why it's important to you that you do maintenance on your printer. Now, one thing that I can assure you is that when we check the printers that you're going to receive from us, they're going to be in working condition. Okay, so you're going to see it here. What we do, is just basic checking a few cables and checking certain areas of the printer, and then when we put together, we make sure the printers turn on and off. From that point that you receive your printer, I need to say this clearly to you, that is the responsibility of the user. In this case, is going to be the person that purchased the printer to do the correct maintenance of the printer. Okay, you need to be diligent on this, because if something happened, let's say that in a week or something like that, that you are responsible for that. It's not the company that you're buying it. It could be us, it could be another company, it could be that you purchase the printer from a marketplace or any place you purchase a printer, is going to be always the responsibility of the user to take care of that machine. And some people start doing DTF, but not doing it the correct way, or something happened to the printhead, or something happened that is doing too much cleaning, and they're finding themselves that the printer is no longer maybe turning on. But you did your correct research to know why you should not be doing constantly cleaning on the printhead, or cleaning back and forward cleaning? When you do a printhead cleaning, it's recommended that if you do now one with a cleaning solution, at least you wait 5 minutes and then do the other ones, because when you do a cleaning, that liquid can come to this part over here, the cable that connects to the printhead. There's another part over here that the cable go all the way down, and if liquid go through that cable, it can create a short circuit for you, and then your printer is not going to work, and you need to be careful with that. You need to be diligent. Okay, so that way you don't find yourself in a position that later you're thinking that is the distributor or the supplier fault, but it's not, because it was the way, was how the printer was handled. Okay, so in this case, you need to be cautious with that. Saying that, this is the control board of the L1800. Okay, so sometimes happens that you're going to find these two over here blinking in alternate, you can say loop, in alternate loop, going, jumping each one, right? So that type of error can happen, and it's nothing wrong with that one. That one could refer to that the printer, it needs an ink pad reset. So it's because when you're printing too much or you're doing too much cleaning, that is count to the printer. And then the printer, even you can put the over here, the line, this line over here that connect, okay, through here it's going to come all the waste ink on all of that. And even I do it in a way that I can put this line to go all the way back, and it's not going inside the printer to the tank. The printer itself is thinking that it's time to reset the pads. Okay, so for that happen, if that happen, with the two lights, what you're going to do basically, will need a tool that is just basically an adjustment program for your printer. So there's many programs out there. It's one for the L1800, if one is one for the P400, 600, P800, all of that printers. And this program is going to help you to reset the ink pads. And it's important that if you got a printer like the L200, you get your adjustment tool. So when that happens, you can adjust, okay? Now, there's another one that happened many times that you can say that is the most common that happen, but it's going to happen if you're not taking care of your printer. Okay, like I said, liquid went to the wrong place, you're not doing the maintenance, and you can get end with those type of errors. So many people also have this one that got the two lights blinking at the same time. Okay, it's not alternate, it's blinking at the same time. That one is more complicated because even the manufacturer of the printer doesn't know what exactly is happening with the printer. But with experience from users, you can deduct what is happening. So when that happens, it could happen that occur a short circuit because of the liquid or the printhead. So when the people take this cable out, it's going to see the tip of the cable is going to be burned. If that tip is burned, it's possible that a short circuit happened to your printhead, okay? And you will need to replace the printhead too. Or if the damage is beyond that, you're going to find yourself that short circuit came all the way to the back, to the motherboard, because this cable, the cable that uses the printhead, okay, it's coming through here, all to the back, this one here, and go down, and you can find yourself in that situation. So it could be those three. It can be only the cable, maybe the printhead, maybe the motherboard, or the three at the same time. Okay. Another one that happens is possible error. It could be that is telling you that the CR motor is damaged or something's wrong with the CR motor. So when it's talking about the CR motor, it's referring for this part over here on the back. Okay. So the CR motor is the one that got the bell that moved the part of the printhead, and it's basically this bell over here, this one. Okay, it's not this one. This one is the encoder strip, but this one is the bell. This one is the one that is attached to the CR motor over here, and it could happen too. Those two lines, it maybe is not referring to the printhead or the cable or the motherboard, but it could also refer to the CR motor. Okay, and the CR motor is really easy to replace. You just get one, and then using a solder, you can get. Sorry about that. Using a solder, you can get these cables from here detached. There's going to be two screws on the front that you can remove this one and then put the other with a new one or the other one. Solder first, okay? You're going to solder first and then put this one back and resolve your problems. If we're talking about the motherboard, then the motherboard is another issue. You can say is basically it's going to be all the way down here. Okay, to get to the motherboard, you will need to basically continue dismantling, disassemble the printer, so you will be able to get there and replace this part over here. Okay, so it's got to be, and then you got here on the back the power supply in this side. All right, let me see what else. So yeah, let's go back here a moment. So so why we open the printers? We open the printers for these reasons: to check this area here, that none of those cables are loose. Okay, because in transportation it can happen that those cables get loose. I mean, there's really they're going to be tight, but sometimes get them loose. And I don't know if you have seen people that turn the printer on and the printhead moves to the left side and then doesn't stop, just bang to the left side, making the noise like Wah! So when that happens, it could be referring to maybe the cable of the printhead here got loose. Okay, so just take a look. So if that happened to you at some point, I'm not saying that it's going to happen from us or any other particular business that you purchase in your printers or anything like that. I'm just saying that if that happened, you know where to look. Okay, so you can connect the cable again, and then the printer is going to know how to stop the printhead. Okay, then you got the gears over here on the left side. You got your sensor. All the printers that we have been selling, all of them are new, so there's no reason you should have troubles or problems getting printers from us. But I just want to show you this because the gear is important, so you can see it. The gear, this go through a sensor here that reads, and sometimes those sensors get dirt. Okay, so it's important also. You can get a Q-tip and come to this wheel here and just clean it a little bit, so that way it's not putting dirt on the sensor. Okay, the sensor is the one that moves also the rolls and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we check that area over there. Obviously we check here that the CR motor, the cables are good. they're not loose or anything like that. So just by touching it, they're not loose. We take a look at the, like I mentioned before, the encoder strip, the belt, all the lines, that they're good. They're not broken, they're not damaged, they're not jammed or anything like that. The lines for the copy station, we make sure that this, the head is completely locked. Okay. And then we make sure the dampers are there. So why we don't test beyond this point more stuff, for example putting inks and make it a print, is because for that we need to initiate the printer, and we don't want to do that. We want you to receive the printers as it is new, like you just got it from a store. Okay, the only thing that we're doing is converting the printer for you to do DTF, that's all. But the printer doesn't change on anything else. We don't alterate anything. So it's not going to be something that is going to be done on the printer that is going to cause you any problems later. Okay, so I just want to point that. Then you got the ink tank. If you see these here, you're going to see that each channel got these holes over here. So this one is the airflow. So it's important that your tank got airflow. And if that is not enough, what you can do is just remove the rubber lid or the rubber caps. You can remove it, so your channel get airflow and the inks is going to move a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to put this back together. I think this video is not to show you how to convert a printer to DTF. It's just for explaining all of the places that we take a look and we check before sending out any printer, so you be more clear of what you're getting. And again, if something happens after you getting your printer, remember that the printer was sent out on a shipment, so we don't control how carriers treat your package. Yes, the package is going to go with an insurance just in case something happens, but we cannot control them how they pick up or put the package or anything like that. And if after this happens something, I'm going to suggest you to go step by step. Go step by step when you receiving your printer. The inks, there's no rush on you to put the inks and initiate your printer or anything like that. Take your time, so you know that you're doing the correct steps and you don't have to rethink again what you're doing, or maybe if you miss something. Okay, so let me go ahead, convert this printer to DTF really quick, and I got to show you when I put the cover back on top how it's going to look, and is it going to power or not. Okay, so after we put back the cover, the case, so we make sure that this cable over here, is loose, it's not jammed or anything like that, because it's going to connect to our controller that turn on the printer. We take another look at the cables over here, that everything is fine. The encoder strip, that is fine. And we take the last look that all is good. Printhead, dampers over here, we go to the side, that the lines are not jammed or anything like that. We got our line for the waste ink in place, going to the back, and our case or cover is again in place for this over here. So now we're going to put some screws and complete the printer. We're going to turn it on to make sure that it's powered correctly, then turn it on, off, and put it back in the original box that it came, so we can send to any customer out there. So this is the way we do it. Okay, so again, if you get it from other suppliers or anything like that and you have an issue, I'm going to recommend contact those suppliers so they can get back to you. If you're getting the printers from us, we're going to be available on Facebook chat. You can send a message or anything like that. But again, there shouldn't be any problems with this printer once you get it, because it's going to turn on and power off correctly. After that, I'm going to make a big parenthesis here. After that, if something is not working for you correctly, again, go ahead and revise your steps and make sure that you got the correct setting for the RIP software. Maybe you got something wrong and it's not printing, or when you prime the dampers, make sure they are put back the correct way. So the correct way is, once you put it, you're going to hear a click. So you push down and you go to hear a click. If you don't hear the click, that means that damper is not put the correct way, and maybe because of that, it's not completely inside, the nozzle is not completely inside the dampers, and then you say, oh, I'm not getting black ink, what's going on? And it's because of that. Believe me, I've seen it many times that people don't know how to put this back. The same way the ink tank, they don't know that they need to open it. Okay. A really good tip is that when you're doing with an eco tank like this one that is loose, or any system, it's a good idea that you can put them at least a height like this. Okay, you can put maybe 3 to 4 inches from the surface, so that way the inks are going to be more elevated and it's going to be easy for you. We close the printer, the cover, we put the screws. Everything I got loose is this one over here, because this is the control panel here. So we're going to turn on this printer and make sure that it is turning on correctly. Okay, there you go. All right, so it's asking for ink. So at this point, after you connect your drivers to the computer, you make sure that the printer is turning on. You put the inks on the ink tank, and you're ready to do the first initiation of the printer. So basically, when you press this button over here and you hold it for maybe 5 to 10 seconds, or sometimes it can be longer, the printer is going to start doing the initiation. It's going to do a cleaning on all of that. You're going to see that the inks are going to come right here on the back. Here, over here, we're going to put a bottle. Okay, so from this point forward, it's going to be the user responsible to make sure that the machine continue working fine, because you need to do your own maintenance and you need to be diligent doing this, and after printing and priming and all of that. Okay, so the only thing that we do is, just make sure that you're going to receive a good printer, a printer that is working, that is turning on, is turning off, there's nothing wrong with the printer. And if something happened after that, like I said before or mentioned before, you need to revise your steps and see what you're doing if something wrong with the connection to the USB port, setting of the strip software, or anything like that. This also can happen with, with anyone. If you're getting a printer from other supplier, or you getting it direct from anyone overseas. If this happen, make sure the printer is turning on first, and after that it's going to be good. Okay, so from Kingdom DTF, you receive your converter printer to do DTF. Now everyone knows that when a printer get converted to something that is different than just a regular inks, the printer is going to lose the warranty that the company, the maker in this case, you know who it is. I'm not going to mention it, but you know who it is. So know this information in advance, okay? Because unfortunately we cannot cover that warranty after we send the printer. And I say this because it's important that you understand. This also is in our website. I have many people, believe me, many people that have been purchasing L1800 to start doing t-shirts, doing transfers, and they have been doing really great. Or at this point, after months, we're talking about, I got a lady, really nice lady, that had purchased from me 2 of these. She grew her business to the point that she then upgraded this printer to the P600. From the P600, she jumped to the P800, and now she's at the point, months later, that she's ready for a dual head printer that is more professional to do the transfers and do DTF. So if there's someone out there telling you different story about don't get into DTF because you're going to waste the money, or don't try DTF with the L1800 and go right away to the dual head printers. If you don't have any experience doing DTF, or you have never done t-shirts, don't do that, because anyway you can be wasting money if you go straight to a bigger printer but you don't know what you're doing. You can manage that printer you can manage that printer incorrectly, and that printer can get damaged for you. So at the end it's going to be the same results. You're going to be wasting money. So I recommend to anyone that want to start doing DTF, want to learn, want to start doing t-shirt, start with a printer like the L1800. Maybe you can do the XP 15000, learn with those, and after these, okay, go ahead and do an upgrade for a better printer. All right, guys, so this is my best tip that I can give you right now if you want to start doing DTF, or if you're already on DTF. Make sure you understand everything and how to do the correct maintenance on your machine. L1800 is a great printer. This is the first printer that came converted to DTF. It's the first printer we start marketing. Is the first printer we start doing transfers. And let me tell you something, we are very happy with the result we have got with this printer. Okay, if DTF is for everyone, maybe not, to be honest. Maybe it's not for everyone, because some people, they're not going to understand how to use it, or maybe they don't want to do the maintenance on the machine. But if you're already doing sublimation, if you're already doing DTG, and you have been working around with inks, it's a good idea you try DTF, because you know what you're going to be entering to do. Okay, guys, so this video, guys, I hope it's short. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Josh from Kingdom DTF. I'm going to have more video coming up about the dual head printer that we are working with. That one it's going to be video tutorials. Also, we're working in different things to bring to this community and also to the website. So thank you so much, guys. Again, go ahead, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until the next one, keep printing.